Hi everyone, welcome back to the BlockBase Plus sew-along. This is the video for Block 4. Remember that you can read the written blog post lesson or you can watch this video. They cover the same steps. Let's get started. Go ahead and open up your BlockBase Plus software. If you still see the Getting Started screen when you open up BlockBase Plus, check the box for Don't Show Again this time and then click the Close button. Now that we're on lesson 4 of the sew-along, I feel like everyone's pretty comfortable with what the screen looks like, so we'll start moving a little bit faster through these videos. To get started today, we're going to go to the 05 Realistic category. So over in the navigation panel on the left, click Realistic, and the block we're using today is in the 06 Flowers subcategory. Now, if you take a look at the top here, you'll see that in this subcategory, there are 103 blocks. That's a lot of blocks to scroll through to find the number that we're looking for today. So we're going to use our search skills that we picked up in the last lesson to find this block with the Brackman ID number. So click the search button at the top of the navigation panel. Here in the search panel, make sure that Brackman ID is selected, and then in the search box, type 785.7 and then click the search button. And here's the block that we're going to make for this lesson. This time we're going to stick here in the search results view and do all of our printing from here. If you'll remember in the last lesson, we used the View in Library tab down here to find where the block appeared in the categories and subcategories of BlockBase Plus. We already know that it appears in the 05 Realistic 06 Flowers subcategory, so this time we'll just print from the search results view. The first thing I want to show you today is the zoom feature in BlockBase Plus. So with our block selected up here, come down to the block toolbar and click the zoom button. And this gives us a nice close look at the block, which is really nice if you're viewing some blocks that are more complex. This gives you a better peek at the patches and seam lines of the block. When you are done viewing this large block, you can click the close button at the top. You can also double click on a block to get that zoomed view. So I'll just double click and I get that big window again just by double clicking. So those are the two different ways that you can zoom a block in BlockBase Plus. Now we're going to close this and we're going to take a look at the last printing feature available to us. We're going to do print block this time. So down in the block toolbar, click print and then choose block from the menu. The print block option prints an image of your block. Before we make any changes here, let's take a look at what the printout looks like with the default settings. Go ahead and click the preview button. And here in the print preview, you can see what the image will look like. This is a really nice tool to use as a color placement guide as you're sewing. Now this block is 12 inches by default, which makes it print across 4 different pages. We don't need it to be this large if we're just using it as a placement guide. So let's go back and make a couple changes in the print window and take a look at what that looks like. Go ahead and click the close button. And back here in the print block window, choose custom block size. Now we can choose a new size that will fit the block on one page. For my printer, setting the finished block size to 7 inches fits nicely on one page. Standard printer pages are 8.5 inches wide, but you have to remember that most printers have margins that will not allow the print to expand to the very edges of the paper. You may need to preview a couple of different block sizes to see what works best for your printer. For now, let's change the size to 7 and then click the preview button. Here you can see that the smaller block size fits nicely on one page. If you're ready to print, you can click the print button. Otherwise, click the close button. And we'll try out a few different options here with the print block window. This next printout can be used for some fun crafty projects. Up here under Finish Block Size, change the size to 1 inch. And then over here under Printing Options, uncheck the box for Print Brackman ID and check the box for Print as many blocks as fit. Next to Line Thickness, click this little down arrow and then choose the thinnest line setting. Then click the Preview button. In the print preview, you'll see you'll get a whole page of little blocks. If you print this on a full page label sheet, you can cut them out to make little quote block stickers, or you can print them on regular paper or cardstock for other paper crafts like cards or tags. If you'd like to print, click the Print button, or click the Close button to go back to the print block window. Let's take a look at one more printout we can create with this print block option. Under Finished Block Size, change the size to 6 inches. Under Style, select Outline Drawing. Under Printing Options, check the box for Print Brackman ID, and then uncheck the box for Print as many as fit. And then next to Line Thickness, choose the medium line setting. Then click the Preview button. These settings give us a nice block that we could use as a coloring sheet. So if you'd like to try out different colorings of the block with colored pencils or markers, you can print this outline drawing and we'll give you a nice coloring sheet for your block. If you'd like to print, click the Print button. Otherwise, click the Close button. Then we can click Close one more time. And then the last thing that we always do with our blocks is click the Add to Favorites button. So let's take a look at all of our favorite blocks so far. At the top of the search panel, click the Favorites button. And you'll see the first 4 blocks for our sew along. In today's lesson, we went through printing the block image, but you'll need to print some other kind of pattern to actually sew the block, whether that's rotary cutting, foundations, or templates. Before I send you off to sew, I did want to mention a couple of things about the other printouts available for this block. Now, we are here in the Favorites view, but we can still print right from here. So click on the flower block, and let's take a quick look at the rotary cutting chart for this block. So down in the block toolbar, click Print, and then choose Rotary Cutting. And I'm going to leave these all to the default settings. Click Preview. And here, if you take a look at the rotary cutting chart, you'll see that some of these patches are going to be easier to cut than others. The rectangles and triangles will be easy to cut with a ruler and rotary cutter, but some of these other shapes may be more difficult to cut accurately with a rotary cutter. So for these, you may want to print the templates as well. So if I click the Close button and close again, I can click Print and Templates. And again, I'm leaving all the default settings and Preview. Now for things that are easy to cut with a rotary cutter, I can delete these so they're not taking up pages. So these easy to cut ones that I'm not going to want to use the templates for, I'll delete. And then I'm down to the templates that I may actually want to use to cut out my shapes. If nothing else, these are a nice double check to make sure that what you're cutting with your ruler and rotary cutter is accurate for the block. I'm going to click the Close button on the print preview and close one more time. Now, I would also recommend that you take a peek at the foundation pattern for this block. Here in the Print Foundation window, if you click on the Sections tab, this will give you a good hint as to how the block can be pieced together. Even if you don't intend to use the foundations, this will give you a clue as to the order that you can sew the patches together. You may be tempted to put these 4 triangles together first, but if you do that, you're going to have a Y seam to deal with here in the center. So if you pay attention to how the sections are indicated here on the Sections tab, that will help you piece the block together. If you take a look at the Numbers tab, that will give you an even better clue as to the best sewing order for this block. So I'm going to click the Close button. And if you're ready to close BlockBase and get to sewing, click File, Quit BlockBase Plus. Remember that you can make the block any size you like. I'll be making the block at the default 12 inches. And you can be creative in how you color the block. Just make sure that you keep the seams and patches in the same orientation as the original block. There will be a new post on the blog on Friday, May 21st, where you can share a picture of your sewn block. Have fun!